today we're doing something a little different. We are doing a commentary video on the new Netflix series called Pop Star Academy. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm a professional dancer. So I figured why not start commentating on some of the stuff I consume, which is dance related. And I am a dancer, so I feel like maybe you guys would value an actual dancer's perspective on some of these takes on what it's like being in the industry and training, development, and all that. A little bit more about me if you're new here. My name is Raya. I go by Radiant on Instagram, RAI.DIANT. So you can follow me on there and see more of my actual dance content, things like that, and some more of my personal life. I am getting ready to go on a training tour in London. So if you want to help support the journey, I'm setting up my Patreon so you guys can actually pay for a membership and get exclusive content on my time in London and things like that. So just be on the lookout because your girl is going to London in October and I'm excited, scared, all the things. So anyway, enough about me. Let's go ahead and get into this video. So just a little bit about the show if you have absolutely no idea what it's about. Essentially, Hybe and Geffen are coming together to create the best girl band of all time with the Korean pop training. So that K-pop style of training, the academy, building people so that they can be a superstar, that's the same type of structure that they're trying to bring and create just a global, girl band. Now, essentially, I wasn't really interested in it because I thought it was K-pop and I haven't found an interest in K-pop yet. Who knows, maybe this will open my eyes and I'll fall into a whole new world of K-pop, but I wasn't interested at first, I'm gonna be honest. So already, immediate thoughts. I could not ignore the lack of representation. And I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the numbers out here. When I read the article, and the article that I read was from the Times, so some of the numbers that came up were that the producers, they chose from over 120,000 applications. Globally. And you're telling me out of 120,000 applications, these were the only people you narrowed it down to that were, and we're not even about to sit here and talk about being qualified and having the talent, the merit, and the experience, because some of these people are up here and they need all the training in the world, but they have quote unquote star power, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But just think about that, 120,000 applications, and they're not even solely picking based off of technique, background, and experience. It's all about the look. So you're telling me there wasn't anyone with a deeper tone, with kinkier hair, with a different body type that fit the bill and you didn't see potential in? I find a problem with that. So my immediate thought was the lack of representation, and no knock to these beautiful women at all. These are young women ranging from the ages of, which the article said, from 15 to 20. They're young, they're impressionable, they have a dream, and you're already in a vulnerable spot when someone tells you, I can make you a superstar, and that's all your dream is. So I'm not going to blame any of the dancers here. They are here for their dream, and this is a platform for it. So let's just put that out there. Moving on. Okay, so my next immediate thought was, how safe is this environment going to be? These are very young, impressionable girls, and they're asking them to come from their home states, countries, continents, and bring it all the way down to LA. And I'm like, okay, they're ranging from 15 to 20. So what does that even want to look like? I'm gonna be honest, I was skeptical, and I'm more skeptical now because I just finished watching that TikTok documentary about that preacher who was exploiting those dancers, and a lot of them, moved to a house away from their families, and it all went downhill from there. So yes, I know it's extreme, but you really got to be careful, okay? But they turn it around, green flag. So for minors, parents are allowed to move to the city with the minor, and that minor lives with them, whereas 18 plus, they all live in a house together. And the conditions for the house, it looked pretty good. It looked clean. The fridge was fully stocked. So I'm like, okay. But you never know. They could have easily just stocked the fridge for looks. We don't know how regularly they're being fed. But this is just episode 1, I'll have to keep watching to, make some more assessments. But anyway, at this point, okay. It seems safe enough, right? Now, as far as the working condition, they have to work from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with a 30-minute lunch break. Singing, dancing, working on your modeling, and whatever else from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., guys, with a 30-minute lunch break. And there's no telling what that lunch is. I can't even wrap my head around. I can't. Anyway, and so they touched on a little bit of mental health as well, which I do think talking about mental health in the dance industry is very important because rejection is a lot, comparison is a lot, X, Y, and Z. So when they touch on mental health, though, they say if you're going through it, just talk to each other. This is a competitive environment. So there's only so much leaning on each other that you can do emotionally when at the end of the day, they are your competitor. And yes, we're here for the competition. But to have mental health, the burden of that be put on each other and competitors, I don't know. You have enough money to put into having them work from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. This is an academy. I'm going to need some counselors. That are strictly for the emotional well-being. Singing, dancing, modeling, all of that toll on your body, and evaluations, which let's get into those evaluations. Okay, so evaluations consist of dance, vocal ability, visual performance, star quality, and attitude in class. Here's the kicker. They have not told those girls that they are secretly preparing them for a survival show. So even if they do well enough for these evaluations to make it to the survival show, it is ultimately not up to the people who's been evaluating them. It will be up to the public, and they will vote on who they want to be in that girl group. And they haven't told them this yet. They've uprooted their lives and moved to LA, and it's on a half-truth. She says in the video that we haven't told the girls, it's a secret, they don't know that they're doing all this hard work, but ultimately they're going to be put in a show, and it's going to be up to the public whether or not they're in this girl band. Really? Why are we hiding our true intentions behind the program? And that's just crazy to me. Is that crazy to y'all? Let me know in the comments. When you're signing up for something, would you like to know the full intention? Or are you like, girl, you're doing too much? This is an opportunity and I'm going to take it any way it comes. Okay, so let's actually get into the girls and who they are. So they picked each girl because they have something unique and special about them, but they might need to be developed somewhere else. So first they have it broken down by top vocalists. So we have Ilya, Sophia, and Carly. So they all can sing very, very well. Ilya, her case is so interesting to me. Her parents are refugees, and she uses her TikTok revenue to kind of help pay for the expenses, and they're in the rough, and she's using her platform to help keep a roof over all of their heads, which is amazing. It also gives me a window into how vulnerable some of these girls are. It's scary watching people's dreams be dangled over their head in this way. We have our top dancers, Emily, Daniela, Adela, and Megan. I think what's interesting about what's being determined for the top dancers is if they can dance in heels or not. I know they're also talking about technique, ballet. Adela, she has been dancing since she was 3, ballet, technique, all of that, and you can tell. But there's so many different genres of dance, and that I can tell that some of these other girls are way more well-versed in, but if they're not the strongest in a heel, then I don't think they've made this category for top dancer. Top star quality is Lexi, Marquis, and Abby. And this is where I'm just really trying to understand the grading system on top star quality and who makes the cut for that. Is this just a different criteria for people who don't have training in anything else, but they have something that makes us want to train them? Is that what top star quality is? Because in my mind, top star quality is you got all the qualities and you're at the top, so you're a star. But no, for them, it's like you just got that something. We don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna develop it in you. So the last category is called the underdogs. Brooklyn, Ezrella, Naisha. Brooklyn, they said that she needs lots of training in all aspects, right? So that's why she's an underdog. Okay, makes sense. By that logic, Abby should have also been in the underdog, because Abby has no professional training in any capacity. She taught herself how to dance on YouTube, and that is about it. Her voice, they were very nice in saying that she has a very unique tone, because without the right training, it's going to be very hard on your ears. And she's only 17. She's so sweet, and I see what they mean. Like, she has something, and it's because she has a carefree energy, and I can tell, and she seems so sweet. But for them to bring her in a space where all these dancers are on a completely different level, she should have been on the underdog list. But somehow Ezrella and Naisha are there. Ezrella, her dancing looked really, really good. Her evaluation looked very, very clean, very strong. Her singing sounded really good. And Naisha, her final evaluation in episode 1 looked so freaking good. And for them to say that, you know what, let me back it up. Because there's already a common trend about how they are labeling Naisha. So let's take it back to the introduction of Naisha, right? So from the minute we see her admission tape, we don't know her name yet. They are like, ooh, we don't know why we like her yet. It's just her energy. Yeah, something like masculine about it. Like, they typically don't go for that, but I think that would just be really, unique. We need something like that. And automatically I'm like, cause she crumping and she rapping, she automatically gotta bring the masculine energy. And then I see the lineup of women and the shade or lack of shade range, and the deepest complected person is gonna be labeled the one bringing the masculine energy. I don't like that. And she's dainty, she's petite, she's small, she's feminine. Just because she crump and wear baggy clothes, we gotta label her masculine? If that's what she wants to be labeled as, then I'm here for it. But typically Black women are labeled as aggressive, masculine. Especially in her final evaluation, they specifically used the word. They said she's too aggressive, and she just does too much, and it's like she's trying too hard. These are things that you typically hear when people are referring to Black women. That we have to dim our light, we have to be more docile, that we doing too much. You brought her on because you liked how in your face she was. You called it masculine energy, and now she's here giving you that energy, and it's just too much. She's just too wild. She's just too aggressive, and it's just like, I hate to see it, because she's breathing life into that choreo. She's hitting it clean, like they said, and she's bringing her individuality like they asked for. So why is it she's the only one being called aggressive and wild, and that she needs to tone it down? She look good. I will say she needs to work on the vocals. But they like the fact that she could rap. But anyway, that's just what I peeped. From the moment we met her, she was labeled as masculine, and now she's getting called too aggressive. I don't like it. I'm going to go ahead and touch on a few more things and go ahead and wrap this video up. So, I wanted to talk about poor Abby, right? She came in, young girl, 17 years old, is with these other technically trained, way more advanced contestants, but she is coming in 30 minutes earlier on rehearsal. She's coming in on the weekend. She said this was her dream specifically to be in a K-pop band, but they ultimately decide to let her go. And it is crushing to see, because you knew what the timeline was. You knew how much training she was going to need. So why did you even rope her into the situation? Yes, experience is everything, exposure is everything. So, it's not all bad for her. But at the same time, y'all knew it wasn't enough time to train her. So her soul is crushed. Gabe which is why I love Gabe, comes in, supports her. They have a little handshake and everything. So you know he's really involved, and I love that. And he gives her some words of wisdom and just tells her that, you know, this isn't a representation of who you are, and this isn't saying that you're not enough. And that's what we need to hear sometimes immediately after being rejected. All the girls come around and hug and support her, and she's bid farewell. And what do? They bring in a new girl, which Black woman, and she's pretty, and I'm like, oh yes, like she's about to eat. Why is it that she's not trained in anything? Again, same recipe. You just cut Abby because you don't have enough time to train her. Now you're working with even less time, and you're bringing in another girl and hoping to train her with the same amount of time that you couldn't do for Abby. And mind you, now they're adding on that 14 isn't the final number. They need 20 girls. So you're cutting a girl for, you're not going to have enough time to train her, but you're also going to bring in another girl that's going to require just the same amount of training, when you're not even at capacity yet. For a secret survival show you haven't told the contestants about. This is messy. And it's just so scary from a dancer's perspective, because you just feel so disposable, and people have their reasons and people have their favoritism. To talk about one sort of favoritism is, I'll put her name here. She really resonates with Daniela because she's also Latin American, and she sees a lot of herself in her. She says so herself. Despite Daniela openly saying that she does not practice full out all the time because she just doesn't want to get too tired. Girl, what? That's how you build stamina, is by doing it full out as many times as you can. I mean, you don't want to get too tired and keep dancing, because that's how you also get an injury. But to openly admit that you are not trying your hardest around people who really want it, but somehow you're still here instead of Abby, who was showing up 30 minutes before every rehearsal and on the weekends, is madness. Is madness. And it's unfair. But hey, that's the industry, and that's what's scary about it, is that it's not fair. And it's about politics, and it's about favoritism, and all those things. But yeah, that is my thoughts on episode 1 of Pop Star Academy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see more commentary on other dance stuff or just other things in general. I'm a very opinionated person, and I'd love to share that with you guys. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and thank you so much. Bye.